Later, I took the zoning inspection. It's been 18 years of service. I have some good times, some bad times, but I must say my overall experience has been 99% an interesting adventure. Due to my health and my age, I'm going to resign my position. Resign my position as administrator and zoning inspector. Beginning on 15th day of January, I will I would like to have on 15th day of January. I will be willing to come in after that if you do a hire to help training for a little bit, not very long. I have a few suggestions in taking over my place. The zoning position, I would say, give it to Dennis. He can work from home on it just like he does on the property maintenance. And for the administrative, I say Ben Hedrick, because Ben, he's here all the time. He knows everything about the village. He's been with the village for 30 years. And he knows the history and the procedure. I want to thank everybody for their help and their friendship over the years.
Well, I have two questions for you. Can we throw you a going away fun cake and balloons?
If anybody wants a letter, Gary will have it printed up. I'll print it up tomorrow.
May I?
Yeah, I have one more, but go ahead.
Yeah, your ladies first, go.
The other question would be, do we need to post those positions?
That's up to you.
It's up to council?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I just,
It's
I
the
want to make
same
sure,
letter. It's just the same as you're putting up for council.
so we have to post that. I can't just say, I want Jeff to be in, right? I mean, I want to
Right.
make sure I'm doing the right
Right.
thing, so that's why I'm asking. And did you hear my first question?
No, I didn't.
Well, your son said he already knew the answer.
You don't want cake and ice cream, do you?
Cake and ice cream
No.
and balloon. Aww.
Maybe a brisket sandwich?
A brisket sandwich?
No.
Oh,
you-
no.
I know anything. Ribs.
I didn't hear what you
I'll
said. I'm losing my hearing.
You lost that years ago, so have I, so.
Well,
What
we're
did
just
you
getting,
say?
we're
I
just,
said, not even a brisket sandwich?
Nah.
we're just
All
getting to, where we can laugh and joke a little bit once in a while with each other.
You know you're
So,
gonna
thank
have a
you.
little girl knocking on your door for Tootsie Pops.
Pardon me?
I said, you know you're gonna have a little girl knocking on your door for Tootsie Pops.
Thank you
They're
for
still
your,
up in the drawer.
I thank you for your service and for all of the wisdom that you've shared with me. You have been most helpful to this transition for myself, and I thank you for that, and I'll be quiet now so someone else.
No, you're fine. Gary?
You know how I feel, Ralph. You've been one of my best friends all these years, and it's gonna be part of not having him there. But, in the interim, you know, when he's not there, I normally handle any zoning or property maintenance stuff that comes in and forward it on to whoever needs it. There really isn't a lot of zoning, throughout the years. How many do you think you had this year?
4 or 5.
Only 4 or 5 in the year, so if you do decide to not hire somebody for, you know, do, like, say, add it to Dennis and pay him, you know, X amount of dollars to do that, I mean, it's not like it's gonna be an overabundance of something, so.
Still be posted though?
Well, that depends, if you guys choose to go ahead and hire within, or you wanna go out to hire within.
But either way, it's gotta be posted.
It's gotta be posted.
Yeah, it's gonna be posted. Is zoning salary, or is it by the
Ralph has been paid
Yes.
salary.
I'm salary next word.
that's for administrative part, but for
No,
the zoning?
I'm both of them. I'm both of
Okay.
them, and it's all.
Is it one position or two?
That's what I'm
Huh?
saying.
Is it one position or two?
Two,
So for the zoning position, is that salary?
yes.
It
It's
is
the
because it's-
same as mine, could be. That's the way Carol is. I do zoning and property maintenance for them. And they list both of them in a check. just like you guys list one, they list two.
Ralph has one X amount of dollars that he gets for both, but he has two positions.
Right, but so what I'm trying to decide or get clear on is if we are paying, for instance, Dennis to do zoning, you know, how's that look?
Like say an extra $500 a month or an extra $500 to
To
administration.
do 4 jobs a year?
Shoot, I'm applying.
Well, people might call in, there might just not be applications or stuff. There's always questions, but there
And
might
you
not
guys can
be.
keep it, it don't bother me.
I mean, I'm not trying to be nasty, I wanna be clear.
Ralph just asked if I was interested, I said, yes, I would take
Yeah.
it.
I'm not trying to be nasty, I just wanna be clear.
So it'd be a posted position and Dennis applies for it, correct?
Well, look, I post state jobs all the time. You've gotta review the job description, make sure, if especially 18 years since it was last went up, it's hard telling what's in that thing. You've gotta review it, make sure it's right, you've gotta make sure you've got the funding, and then you've gotta post it. Like you would any other job, and you can do it internal for the guys internal, then they can apply, and if you don't select them, then you can go external. But you gotta start with reviewing, especially on an 18-year-old job description.
I had Ralph's job in mobile, until they did away with the position.
Yeah, I totally trust your capabilities.
They did away with the service supervisor.
Yeah, and I totally trust Ben's capabilities. I just wanna be clear on what.
Well, and that might be the thing too, if X amount of dollars is set aside for zoning and X amount of dollars is set aside for administrative, you know, does that need to change? Because, you know, if zoning, if you're doing it by the item or by a flat rate, does that mean you need to raise the administrative to, you know, so
11, like
it's
11.
not, you gotta review it and see what's funded where.
I asked him before the meeting if he would stay on until the 1st of February so we can do more talking about it, because I didn't want to say anything. I've known this is going to happen, and I haven't said anything to anybody publicly, because that's his responsibility to turn in. But I've known personally what's happened. I asked him if he would stay on to the 1st of February so we can do more talking and job descriptions and divide this up. We want to talk money, job duties, and nothing against Dennis, and he'd do a great job on zoning, and Ben Hedrick would be a great job. But there's things that we have to clarify. Since we're dividing this job, we have to clarify things and have it in black and white, understanding. Let's just say, Mr. Hedrick, we offer him a job for whatever money. How many hours a week is he supposed to do?
Exactly.
And those things. Dennis can do his job from home on zoning, and if he gets zoning, you're gonna have to come here and inspect
Yeah,
it.
I do it in Canada.
And you won't get paid mileage. Will that be part of it?
I deduct the mileage. I write mileage off.
But you know what I
I
mean?
don't get paid mileage now.
Okay, but I'm just thinking of all these things to get, and same way with Ben. Ben, if we give Ben this amount of money, and he's already making this amount, for the water plant, and we combine them, and he works for the village, he can't work for the village, and we can't pay him 3 times.
Yeah.
That's what the guy, Eric Sandine, got in trouble for at Ball, or Life Office, because he was paying himself, he was the boss and paying himself.
Yeah.
So we gotta watch that, and that's all concerns of mine on filling Mr. Martin's position. And I just wanna make sure that we have got all of our ducks in a row, so we don't get ourselves in trouble like Office.
I can get
Completely
all of
agree.
you guys how much his position gets paid a year now, so you guys know, and then you like divide it between the two, so you would know what it is getting paid now, so you guys, the service department, maybe meet and look over the job descriptions, and I can get him all that information, that way you guys can.
And we need to sit down, all of us, I think we need to have
Special meeting.
a special meeting with council member and mayor. Just, Terry, do you have to be there if we have a special meeting to take notes?
That is, my job is to do that, so you know, I don't have to, if you don't want me to, somebody else can.
Well, and I'm not trying to be mean.
Right.
I'm just trying to figure out how we divide it, where we're gonna get the money, how we're gonna do that, and what job descriptions and what duties they're gonna have.
Exactly.
And then the other thing, you know, he's 24/7's here, is Ben gonna be able to do that 24/7?
Yeah, if someone calls right away and they're having a problem with their pipes, and you have that key thing that you turn,
He's,
Right.
they're right there.
he's the one that we call anyways.
But,
He is. I called in.
but see, there's the other
I called in.
thing too. Well, you know, there's so many fine lines there that we
Yeah.
need to adjust
We do.
and take care of.
We do. I agree. That's where I was trying to come with clarity.
Set a meeting time for a special meeting, so we can get it posted, for the.
And you gotta do it fairly quick.
What do you think about next Tuesday night? Does
I
that
think
give you
it's
time to
fine.
get everything and get
Yeah,
everybody
that's
together?
fine, I just need to.
Well, so, Mr. Martin,
let
as
them know.
council, as council member, I'm asking, you said you would stay a little bit. If we put this application out, and it has to be out, what, 2 weeks? Or this job description, if we put it out, or do we fill it within?
So if we have a special meeting on the 12th, and then everything is finalized to post on the 13th, does that make
Or
sense?
do we fill within, you know, I guess that's what we're,
I like the idea of posting,
Yeah.
We have to, yeah.
but
I'll
it's
tell
up to
you
you
what,
guys.
I'll cover the council, the zoning until the next meeting.
okay, there's
Thank
the other, okay.
If you have a special meeting on the 12th,
And we post.
and you post, you have to come back to council for,
To vote, yes.
to vote on.
So you're not gonna decide
You
anything
can't
next
just say,
month.
okay,
Right.
we're gonna do it on that special meeting. That special meeting has to go back to council.
Unless you hold an executive session. You can hold an executive session with all council members, and that's the only people that come in, and you only discuss one item, and that be it. And you can do an executive session ahead of time.
After our special meeting, and all
Yes.
the details are, then that night, we can say, hey, let's have an executive
Everybody
session.
But you have to post that executive session.
Well, do it on the 13th or 14th after we post it for 24 hours,
So,
or 12 hours, or 20.
does anybody have time to do a special meeting this week and then executive session next week? We're pushing pretty far out on the timeline for waiting a whole week to.
Well, it isn't no different than him being on vacation.
I can do it
I
Friday.
take care of stuff in the office. If somebody calls in about a water issue, I call Benny. If it's
So
a
that's-
service department, I call the service department. And that's basically what
So
the
that
administrator
can
does.
post, it's gotta be 2 weeks from the time we decide, correct, for the job?
Or did you say if we're gonna fill in-house, we don't have to put it up?
No,
We have to post it in-house.
You still have to post it, but it can be closed to external applicants. So if you post open to internal applicants, that's fine, and you only have to post it for.
Internal,
Internal applicants only.
say what,
You can post it for internal applicants only,
applicants.
and then if none of them meet the criteria, if it's a failed search,
Right.
you can then open, you can take all those applicants at the same time if you want. You can just do one posting, but in the posting, you have to put in there that internal applicants will be reviewed first.
Right.
Now,
But there's no way you're gonna meet one day and have it ready to post the next. I really think you're trying to count a square peg in a round hole to go that fast. I think the meeting next week's a good idea. Dennis has offered to handle the zoning till February, carries it. I say, meet next week, that gives you time. You're probably not gonna iron out the details in one meeting anyways. You may have to have a second one and plan on bringing it before
And he's
council.
not even leaving until the 15th, so
Right.
he's still got a couple weeks to.
Right.
Dennis, you had the decision before they did away with it, what was you paid at Baltimore, may I ask? Dad?
It's the same number I get paid for, zoning and property maintenance is the same. I haven't had a raise in 2 years, so.
What did you say down at
Neither
Greenwood?
of us have either, none of us have either.
Didn't we give you a raise
Yeah, you
that
got
was
one.
really nice?
After 9 years.
No,
Yeah, you did.
actually,
We got
I didn't,
everybody.
because I already had a.
But didn't you say the guy at Bremen made $32,000 a year or something? Huh?
38.
So,
He made 38.
When I was at Baltimore, and that's been 10 years now, I was making 50.
Now, is that a 40-hour week? I don't know.
No,
I was 24/7.
So-
I mean, you got called in at any time of the night, too.
So-
I mean, I was on salary,
I assume.
but back then I was making.
So I just wanna bring this all up so we're all aware of, We got a cheap man.
Yeah. 'Cause I think
And
it's
he's been cheap all his life, 85.
But there again, this guy's not the same size as Polo.
That's only part-time
Right.
too, it's only
But
part-time.
part-time, but we need to figure out hours and how many hours gonna be in the building. You know, if you're administrator, you can't get a check being in the ditch. Right, and you can't get, if we lump, let's just take Ben Hendrick's job, and we lump administrator job and his water department together,
You can't. He's got, right now, he's the superintendent for the water, so he gets a fee for superintendent for water and sewer, plus his hourly rate, that's what he gets for that. And then he would do an administrator position on top of that. And
but
then
his
it comes out
hourly
of the
rate,
difference.
what I'm saying, that his hourly rate
Right.
is for him getting in the ditch
Yes.
doing things, but he
But-
wouldn't be able to do that.
But
being
as the
administrator.
like the superintendent, he has a salary that he gets paid for being the superintendent.
He gets paid
He
that salary.
would
for
do,
his
just say,
license.
the administrator would be a salary.
And did he get his
too.
license,
Right.
and did other, because didn't we give him money to get licensed and to take tests, and he hasn't done that yet?
Benny?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
And he's got a license.
He's-
But some type of, didn't we send him to take over sewer plant and all that?
No,
No.
no, never have.
So we need to
So-
post,
Okay.
no, you.
Let me
can
finish, so say he gets a good salary there, he gets salary for the administrative position, and the only thing he gets his hourly rate for is if he's doing the water and sewer work.
How
But,
many hours does he put in a week?
but how do you be a supervisor, administrator, and designate, say, Jeff's the boss. Jeff says, I'm gonna go work in the ditch, so I'm getting my salary and an hourly rate for being in the ditch. He
Do the
can't
same
get that
job.
because he's on salary.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I do during the day. I'm the boss. One, I don't know how to fix the stuff the guys do. But two, I can't, if I'm doing their job, I'm taking away from their position, and it's actually a violation of their contract.
Right. So that's what we just need to talk about all these things. Whenever you wanna have a meeting, make sure it's after 2:30 and I'll do it.
How do you guys feel about posting the special meeting for next Tuesday, the 12th at 6:30 at the municipal building? Or do you want it here?
Is everybody available like at 2:30 or during the day at all?
No, I don't get back. home
Cause,
till-
I mean,
I
it's
can record
convenient
it.
for me because I have to drive from
I'll
Register
record
back
it,
back here.
I'll
so.
record the minutes.
Yeah,
So
I
I'll ask
work
Mrs.
in
Gamble.
Athens, so.
So what time do you get
I'll
home,
ask
5, 6?
Mrs.
I get home between 5 and 5:30.
So,
But I can check my calendar and see if I don't have meetings and stuff on my.
Yeah, cause you work nights, don't you?
Yeah, and I picked
and
up-
I'm just saying,
That's what
I
I'm
get
saying,
2:30, I get
right?
off
So can you
2:30,
do it
3
Tuesday?
o'clock meeting, 4 o'clock meeting.
I picked up.
Yeah, I can.
And let's just say, can we say,
Can you?
I get off at 4 o'clock, so anytime after 5 or after. It
5?
can't be during the day though.
I can
Do
do
you wanna
it.
pick a different
You
day?
can do
than
5?
I'll do 5.
No,
You
I'm
do five? Do five
I'm
plus
driving
three?
right now, if I'm working all my days, plus I'm
Tuesday.
picking up overtime shifts.
Well, if we have
Hey,
these four,
Any extra money you wanna give out for all that overtime you're getting?
Tuesday at 5.
It's going in my car.
Did you hear that, Corey?
I know, I see you got
I would go
new
ahead and
machine.
give everybody the information, that way if you have anything that you want to submit to them, so you, for questions,
Did you hear Tuesday at 5?
yes, 12 to 5.
And Amy will record
Oh,
the minutes. And I'll Tracy.
So we're gonna do it at 5 then?
Your phone's at 2%. Do you want me to end
I
it?
can meet her.
What?
Your phone's at 2%. Do you want me to end it?
2%?
2.
Good grief. We're almost done. Keep it on. We're almost done. We're almost done. Thank you, Ralph.
Hey, Ralph, can I make a motion to pay the bills?
Absolutely.
I
Wait,
second.
wait. I got one more thing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I promised Maddie Fraley she's the vice president from Human Resources at Midwest. She asked if the village would be interested in doing a mobile mammogram. She's having the Susan G. Cohen unit coming in at January 22nd. She's done it before at Midwest for, women. Obviously, it's a mammogram mobile unit and other people. And then they go to the Amanda Clear Creek High School. It's a mobile unit. She would like to see if the village would like to be a part of that, January 22nd. And if we are, where would we set it up?
Midwest Parking Lot would be great.
So village wants to sponsor it? Great, thanks. Make a motion? Holly, make a second? Any
Which
other
one
bill-
cost us?
No,
What does it cost people? Do you know that?
I don't.
Can we find that out?
Well, it's January 22nd.
If you can give us that flyer. then
Okay.
I can,
I'll get a flyer. All right. All in favor? Mobile mammogram is on. Thank you. Now, go for it. Make a motion, Jeff.
I'd like to take a motion to pay the bills.
Is there a second? Mr. Root, and all in favor?
Yes.
I think I have a lot of questions with all the loan payments today.
Well,
57,000 or
Let's
something.
sign and
Yeah.
pass it.
I've seen that and I trust you, so we have to sign this, right?
Yeah, because we had, with all the water loans and our street loans, it all have to come out.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I'm like, somebody's gonna ask me about it.
Thank you.
Dennis, you Dennis.
Thanks,
We'll be getting a phone call with questions.
Huh?
So I'd like to make a
Oh,
motion to adjourn.
I'll just make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. Yes.
Jeff, second. All in favor? Thank
Yes.
you. I got horses and dogs to feed still.
I have to do myself.
I'm not going in.
I gotta feed myself.
I'm gonna go to Dwayne's house for some brisket.
I know, me too.
I got turkey, I got smoked turkey, I got the first.
I'm not
I
going.
did, pulled pork this weekend, it was delicious.
So you'll get Jeff his keys.
You guys sign that?
I need to.
We're working on it, Pete's.
He knows how to use the restroom, huh?
Yep. So we're working on it. Miss Holly,
Thank you, Ross.
why didn't you get a new red one, kind of
Did
sporty
you
or
shut everything
something?
off?
A little lawn and a red sports